Hello, everybody. This is Literary Candy, and I'm your host, Makila Candy Harris. And we sweet literature today. Please visit us on our website, www.literarycandy.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube channel. Today, we have as our guest Cherie Barnes, and she is the author of 12 Lessons of Healing Through Grief. Thank you for joining us, Cherie Barnes.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, and I'd love to hear about your writing journey and about this book that you have written for people who are going through grief.
I'll be happy to share. Thank you.
Okay, tell us about your writing journey first. How did you come to write this book?
Well, I tell people I am an author by accident. I wrote the book. They were my journal entries because I lost the beloved of my life in January 2017. So, in a way for me to get my feelings out, I started writing 5 minutes a day. And that 5 minutes became 10 minutes, and 10 minutes became 20 minutes. And before I knew it, I had a book.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear about a lot of people can relate to that.
Thank you. Yes.
So, how do you use your book?
Well, I have been speaking to different people. I just did a radio interview this morning, actually, and I talked about how I use my book in terms of I share my ideas, my thoughts, my feelings, and I use it to tell people that there is hope beyond losing a loved one.
Mm-hmm. So, who is your target audience, Cherie, for this book? Is it just for people who are going through grief, or are there other audiences who would benefit from reading this book?
Actually, I think anybody who have lost a loved one, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague, just anybody who has lost someone in their life, and it just gives, pointers and tips about how to move through the grieving process, how hope and healing can be beneficial in order to begin the healing process.
Okay. Would you share with us one of the main points or something that you really hope that people get and get across once they have finished reading the book?
It is the last chapter of my book, and it's called Celebrate Life. I hope that the person who's reading the book gets that just because your loved one has passed away, or just because that person is no longer in your life, you can still celebrate life by remembering that person, by declaring that you will move forward positive actions in life, that you will still hold on to dreams and goals that you had or that you had with that person, and that just because they're not here, you will move on, you will do great things in life, and you will not let that hinder you, but you would take that as a stepping stone in order to move on.
Okay, those sound say things to help people through that. Now, is your book a workbook, or is it more like a devotional?
It's actually more like a devotional. I offer you 12 lessons that I've learned along my own journey. And then in the end of the book, because I have a second book. And so I give you an excerpt of the second book, which that is the true devotional. Some of the topics are loss of a parent, loss of a significant other, loss of a pet, loss of a job. And so then I give you some resources and some scriptures in order to big study about grief and loss.
Okay, well, that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you. Is
Oh,
there a sequel and what was going to happen next? So you already have another journal coming out.
it's already out. It's not in
Oh,
print yet. It's still a Kindle, but it's Conversations with God, the devotional. And so that's the second book.
okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
I released that book in November, and I wanted to do a journal because I found along my process that people I knew not only lost the love of their life, but they lost their homes, they lost their businesses, they lost. ideas, just things that they wanted to do in life. And I say, I know lots of people who not just suffered a physical loss, but they've suffered other losses. So I think I want to write about that. So I went into prayer and I said, okay, I want to write something different than what I wrote. And so I began to get scriptures that went along with each devotion. So like loss of a parent, I found, famous scriptures that everyone knows dealing with, how when you lose a parent or just loss in general. And so that's what I did throughout the whole process.
I see. So why don't you tell us where we can find your book, Cherie?
You can go to my website, and that is cheriebarnesauthor.com, and that's the Amazon link to the book. And you can also go right to Amazon, amazon.com/author/Cherie Barnes, and it'll come right on up. It's in print and it's in Kindle.
Okay, that's definitely helpful, especially when you're talking about journal and being able to work through lessons. It's always good to have it in paperback.
Sure. I love that it's in paperback because I can just hold on to it and say, hey, this is what I wrote. And I can, give it to other people and just share it. So I love that it's in paperback now.
Okay. So now, how can we get in contact with you? Do you have social media sites as well as your website?
I do. I have a Instagram page. It is author_Cherie B. That's my Instagram handle. And I also have a Facebook page, author Cherie Barnes.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we'll look forward to reading both of your books and sharing them with people who are in that situation. Thank you so much for being with us, Cherie.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay, and so thank you for joining us on Literary Candy, where we talk about sweet literature. And as my dad used to say to me, you be sweet.